From SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, the Canadian Elite Basketball League is back for its 8th year. It's a familiar matchup with a new twist as the Saskatoon Mamba take on the Vancouver Bandits. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Flaherty alongside Eric Magdans, and yes, school is back in session on the hardwood, and like a student who's back from a summer break with a bunch of fresh fits, there's a original franchise here from the CEBL that's got a whole new look as the Saskatoon Mamba era officially begins here in the Bridge City. Meanwhile, after being at the top of the class in regular season play in back-to-back years, the Bandits are looking to graduate from contenders to champions in
Of course, on the other side, we have the Vancouver Bandits under the veteran leadership of head coach Kyle Julius. They had an exciting playoff run last season. They did fall short, so they will be very hungry for that win this year. In the words of their star forward, Tyrese Samuel, they have some unfinished business to take care of. It's going to be an exciting day for both teams and for the thousands of kids that are here in the stands for the Saskatoon Mamba School Day game.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Katrin. Yes, it is going to be loud here inside the Snake Pit. It is the SaskTel Be Well School Day game, as Katrin just mentioned. So lots of excited school kids. Eric, of course, getting to get out from school and go watch a basketball game. I would have killed for that opportunity back when I was in school. Of course, this is the season opener, so not a lot of stats to go over here for this matchup, but we do have a chance to hear from the brand new head coach of the brand new look Saskatoon Mamba, Isaiah Fox, standing by with Katrin.
That's right, I'm here with Coach Fox. Coach, how are you feeling as this new franchise steps onto the court for the first time?
We are very excited. There's definitely some nerves, but we're trying to use it in a positive way and switch the energy to excitement, and hopefully the guys can bring it tonight.
What was the conversation like in the locker room this morning? What's going to be the focus today on the court?
Well, a lot of the stuff is big picture. You know, right now being the first game, a lot of it's all really about our energy as a team, the toughness we bring, and the togetherness, which is some of the cultural ideas the team came up with for themselves.
All right, well, thanks, Coach. Good luck out there.
Thank you so much, Katrin and Coach Fox. Yes, always nice to see that mutual excitement between the coach and, of course, the team. Opportunities abound for players and coach alike. We are just a few minutes away from tip-off. We're going to step out and come back with more to tee up today's matchup to kick off the 2026 season. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gems, CBC Sports, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome to a new CEBL season. It's been amazing, Canada basketball, for that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian hoops.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're gonna have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is the trail, this is the real, and all that I gotta say, I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as anticipated.
Sliding away. What a block from behind. Welcome back inside the Snake Pit as we get closer to tip-off on this season opener of the 2026 campaign between the Saskatoon Mamba, still getting used to that, and the Vancouver Bandits. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdan's here with you. And Eric, you've picked out some keys to the game for both teams, so let's start with the visiting Bandits. What are your keys?
Absolutely. The first one here, first game of the year, the Bandits need to come out and control the paint. They've got experience on their front line. They need to use that. And really, they have experience all across the board here. A number of CEBL experienced players and players who have international experience as well. But with that and the talent that they have, they need to make sure that they play together. They're used to having been the first option on a lot of their teams and figuring out those roles this year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Let's turn our attention now to the brand new Saskatoon Mamba. What are your keys for the Bridge City bunch?
Talking with Coach Fox yesterday, his big key was to play with pace. They want to move the ball. That's how they can counteract the size of the Bandits. But with that, they got to move the ball, get the advantage, keep the advantage. And with that, keep it simple. It's been a short training camp with a lot of new faces, but they just got to keep it simple and move the ball.
It is all about keeping things simple, especially early in the year. Teams are still coming together, getting used to each other out there on the floor. All right, we are getting close to tip-off, so let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. And of course, Vancouver, especially early here, and throughout the season, they're going to focus on the reigning Canadian of the year here in the CEBL, Tyrese Samuel. He's joined by longtime professional vet Michael Mulder making his CEBL debut, Miller Kopp, who's looking to become a breakout star this year, Jalen House, and Tevian Jones, the former Rattler here in Saskatchewan last year. For the Mamba, Jalen Williams comes over from the Winnipeg Sea Bears. He's joined by Dejuan Gordon, Karim Mane, who was a Calgary Surge last year. Tavian Dunn-Martin joins the team after a season in Montreal last summer, and Marcus Harding makes his professional basketball debut at center for the Mamba. Eric, you've outlined a player to watch from each team. Let's start with the Bandits. Who are you going to be focused on?
Player of the game for the Bandits today is Tyrese Samuel. He's given me some nightmares over the year. He's the reigning Canadian Player of the Year. He does it inside and out. He moves the ball. He'll be really the focal point, especially against a young Mamba front line.
And a big man who averaged nearly 28 points and 12 rebounds in 3 games against the former Rattlers last year. He'll be a big load to handle. Let's look at the Mamba. Who are you keying in on here this afternoon / this morning?
Tavian Dunn-Martin is my guy for today, better known as TDM. He's got range. Don't be confused by his smaller stature. He can shoot the ball. He's going to get in the lane. His ability to push the pace and move the ball for the Mamba is going to be huge tonight.
TDM led the Canadian Elite Basketball League in 3-pointers made last year, had the second most in a season in league history last year with 68 triples. So you're looking for him to knock some down from beyond the arc. We're getting very close here to tip-off. The Mamba, of course, Eric, you were on the bench for the last few seasons with the Rattlers. We're super excited to have you on these broadcasts this year, but the team looks a lot different. New name, new identity. What do you make of the makeover?
It's been a great change. You can feel the energy across Saskatoon, and hopefully that radiates across the season. We've had the Mamba play the Bandits the last 3 seasons, and it's been some mixed results. Hopefully we can get the season started off right.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vancouver came in here last year and took away a 40-point victory. So clearly, fans who are here in the building are looking for a little bit more of a competitive game, and I think we're in for one here. Speaking with Bandits GM head coach Kyle Julius yesterday, he said he thinks on paper this Mamba roster, this Mamba lineup, it could be one of the best that the team has put on the floor in a few years here. So now it's up to them to do it on the floor.
Absolutely. It's a depth of talent on this team. We're going to see who sort of takes the reins.
The opening tip-off is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. As you can see, the Mamba in those, they're calling it the Aurora Kit 1.0 debut here. This is the primary look to start the year for the Mamba. We've got a loony jar if we use the old name here. So here we go. The Bandits in the burnt orange, and the tip goes to the Mamba right off the hop. A spin and a layup off the glass. Dejuan Gordon introducing himself to the hometown crowd.
That's what you want to see, getting out with pace to start the game.
Bandits' first possession. It's Jalen House, who just arrived yesterday, I believe, or perhaps 2 days ago with the Bandits. A 3-pointer is good. Michael Mulder, who, despite what you might have seen on the internet, was not retired. He's just been waiting for his next opportunity, and the 9-year pro, gets the first points of the year for the Bandits.
Yeah, that's not a guy you want to leave open. He's gotten caught passes from Steph Curry, and when that guy's passing the ball, you know you can shoot it.
Fast break opportunity, and it's House laying it in for a 5-2 Bandits lead. We've already seen the first couple possessions here for Saskatoon. Dejuan Gordon, we heard about his athleticism. We've already seen it on display. Still in the opening minute, quick start here in Saskatoon. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans, Katrin Hodson with you in our inaugural voyage here in 2026. Glad to have you on board for this morning start here in Saskatoon. Marcus Harding trying to work his way inside, but stripped underneath, and House the other way, drops it off for Kopp, launching from deep, but that won't fall, and the rebound to Gordon. Mamba want to push the pace this season. Bandits getting back well defensively. Here's TDM dishing it off. Now a drive. The layup won't go for Karim Mane.
Great pace to start the game here for the Mamba. They're moving the ball. They're getting up and down, side to side. Hey, the Bandits are known for having some tough half-court defense, so keep the ball moving.
Three-pointer no good for Mulder. Our officials this morning here in Saskatoon, the crew chief Chris Bucella, and the umpires are Mitch Strom and Matt Fidelic. So it'll be Mamba ball on the baseline as the students continue to file in here, expecting roughly 2,500 school kids in the building today. Great pass underneath, but Harding had a little difficulty, recovers, gets it outside. Now Gordon trying to drive, kick out. Three-pointer from the left side is good, and first triple of the year for the former Sea Bear, Jalen Williams.
Great possession for the Mamba. They get the ball inside, they kick it out. Hey, first game jitters, we don't catch it clean, we still get a great shot.
Foul called on Marcus Harding, the big man. You look at him, he doesn't look like a guy making his first pro start. He looks fully formed physically, but you know, just out of college and making his pro debut here today. He gets called for the foul.
Yeah, he's got a tough matchup tonight, but you know, we need this from the Mamba guys to sort of fill in the spots while we're waiting for Jaden Bediako to get back from Mexico.
Of course, Jaden Bediako, Devontae Bandu will be arriving in the next few weeks here. Familiar faces to fans here in Saskatoon. Samuel at the line. And offensive rebound. Little reverse three-point play there for the Bandits. Nice work by the former Rattler, Tevian Jones.
Yeah, Tevian's a great player. He's long, he's athletic, he's been around the G League, been around the CEBL. Guy we got to keep off the stat sheet tonight.
Split last season between Winnipeg and Saskatoon. Here's a three-pointer off the front rim from Dunn Martin, rebounded by Mulder. Spins away from the pressure, and here come the Bandits with numbers up top. A little too high. But they maintain possession. And now a reset here with 12 on the shot clock.
Tough matchup in transition. Let's make sure we got help.
And a strip underneath. That'll go to the Mamba. Turnover on the play. Good defense underneath.
That's a great possession by the Mamba right there. Got in a mismatch, but we still had help loaded. That's tough in the early season.
Bandits with an 8-5 lead here, approaching the 3-minute mark of quarter number one. Mane on the drive, lost the handle, taken away by Jones. He's got House running the floor, and an easy layup as the Bandits take a 5-point lead.
Taking care of the ball here tonight is going to be absolutely important for the Mamba. Getting out in transition, if the Bandits can do that, will be a long night.
Mane runs into a wall, trying to find an opening. Comes up short. Samuel on the glass. Up ahead. The Bandits run it out, and Mulder, the shifty move, and he lays it in for two. Bandits getting on a run here. Mamba looking to stem the tide on this possession.
Basketball's a game of runs. It's about breaking these cycles, getting back to having a couple good possessions, and getting back on the glass.
Harding with the pick. Skip pass into the corner. Now a three-pointer from the right elbow. And that is good for Jalen Williams. It's a 4-point game. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire. 6:06 to go, first quarter, and some substitutions here on both sides. And for the Mamba, there's a familiar face to fans here in Saskatoon. Jameer Chaplin, more on his return as we go through the broadcast. And he welcomes himself to the game with an emphatic swat. Also in for Saskatoon, Jamal Fuller.
And I like this move by Coach Fox, making some early subs here, getting some guys in the game. It's the first game. There's some jitters. We got a young team. Hey, sometimes you're breathing a little heavier, a little earlier than you expected, but get some fresh bodies in here and let them play.
Fuller, like Marcus Harding, also making his pro basketball debut here today. In fact, we've got 7 players combined between the two teams. That's what's so great about this league, Eric. It is opportunities for players to take that next step in their pro basketball journey, or even that first step in some cases.
Absolutely, and that first step and those steps can look a lot of different ways. We've had guys go to the NBA, we've had guys go back to their youth sports teams and become all-stars, and we've had guys be able to go overseas. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great thing to have here in Canada.
And it's with the ball down by 6. Dunmartin to his left, slashes into the paint. Oh, a little look off. Shifty is one of the primary adjectives he'd use to describe Tavian Dunmartin.
Absolutely, he's a bit of a jitterbug. He's all over the place.
Miller Kopp, no good. Last touched by Vancouver. And we've got Trey Townsend set to check in, and back with the franchise after a year away. Number 2 all-time in games played with the team here in Saskatoon. DeAndre Bernard making his reappearance on the floor.
Absolutely. One of my favorite players that I got to coach over the years. A phenomenal athlete. Guy can jump out of the gym and play a variety of positions for them.
Tevian Jones with the 3 for a 7-point Bandits lead as we approach the midway mark of the quarter. And now House with the steal. And the layup won't go. We've got a foul on the rebound as Jones was hustling for the putback.
Jalen House might not be a household name here, but he's a guy in the G League. G League All-Star this last year, actually was at the NBA Rising Stars Challenge with our very own Elijah Harkless.
Yeah, talk about a trajectory from this league. A guy who 2 years ago was wearing Rattlers colors and now looking to be close to signing a contract, not a two-way, but an actual full contract with the Utah Jazz. And quite the climb for Elijah Harkless.
Yeah, he's earned it the whole way. He worked really hard while he was here. Got some great opportunities to make the most of it.
3 for Michael Mulder, who's playing his first pro game since 2024 here today. Looking pretty fresh, and now a steal. And Samuel with a 2-hand flush. The Bandits lead up to 12. And we've got a timeout on the floor as the Bandits are looking good here to start this one, 22-10. We will take a break here midway through the opening quarter. It's the Bandits 22 and the Mamba 10. You're watching CEBL basketball on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
Gotta love it, Canadian Boots.
Two hands, me. Oh, what a block from
behind. Welcome back inside the Snake Pit here in Saskatoon, and it is getting loud here inside the building. Eric, I know you've been a part of a couple of these games in other buildings before. What's the atmosphere like for one of these school day games?
Well, the atmosphere is amazing. There's a consistent high-pitched shrill that you just kind of got to get used to. But it's an amazing atmosphere. Every basketball player wants to play in front of fans and play in front of excited fans, and that's what we have here today.
So it'll be Mamba ball coming out of the timeout. 4:53 to play first quarter. And we know this Bandits team, I mean, they've had the best record in the league the last 2 years. Of course, a lot of roster turnover, but Kyle Julius always seems to have his teams ready to go. And they're off to a hot start again here in the first quarter. Mamba looking to slow it down here. Get back to single digits. The drive by Fuller gets the contact. And Jamal Fuller will head to the line.
Great possession coming out of a timeout there. Got the ball moving, came off the screen, got the ball to the second side, and got an attack off the advantage.
That foul's on Jones. It'll be the second of the quarter on the Bandits. Jamal Fuller from Toronto at a Long Island University. And another player that the Mamba are very high on coming in here to make his first steps in the pro ranks.
Actually, former Rattlers assistant coach Tanner Massey coached this past year at St. Francis University, which was the same conference that Jamal was in at LIU, and had nothing but praise to say about his game.
And he's got his first professional points. They come from the charity stripe, 2 for 2, and it's a 10-point game. Samuel working on Bernard. Kicks it out to Mulder. 3 a little too strong. Rebounded by the Mamba. Follow the league at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. We've got a whistle and a foul under the basket. This is going to go against the Bandits. It's on Samuel. That'll be his first of the day.
One of the hard things about trying to guard the Bandits is that they have 5 guys on the floor who can make a play and shoot the ball. So there's nobody you can help off of.
14 on the shot clock. Mamba need to get it in here. Contested inbounds, and who will that be? As our officials on that side, Mitch Strom, Matt Fidela, consult. It will go over to the Bandits. And bringing it up the floor, Jalen House. Guarded by Gordon. House to his right. Shot just a little offline, and Fuller going up high to bring down that rebound. But a turnover, and numbers for Vancouver. Jones inside, Kopp, layup, no, but little contact from behind. Looked like Gordon just got a little bit of a touch on the hand there on Kopp. Well, they're actually going to call it on, I said 23, but I think it is on Fuller, excuse me. And we've got some subs in for Kyle Julius's Bandits. A couple, Dominic Parolin coming in, and looks like John Knight will be entering the play for Kopp after these free throws.
Turnovers have been the name of the game so far. The Bandits have done a great job pressuring the ball handlers, forcing some ball movement. They've been able to get out in transition because of them.
Kopp knocks them both down, and now he'll take a seat into the action. John Knight, a player that I know, talked with some of the Bandits players yesterday. They're pretty excited to have him on board here out of Southern Utah. Dajuan Gordon. And another whistle. This is away from the ball, though. Some contact underneath the basket. That's on Parolin. I think that was a player you're excited to get a look at here today, was Parolin, Eric.
Absolutely. Not somebody that I know that too much about. Spent his years in college here at Boise State and then 4 years at Lehigh. But a guy who comes in is a very physical player, was all conference when he was at Lehigh. A guy who can make a big impact as a Canadian here for the Bandits.
So Mamba just trying to find a little bit of a rhythm here on offense. And that's not surprising. These first games of the season can sometimes be a little bit uneven, if you will. That's to be expected when teams have really only been together for a week to 10 days.
Absolutely. Guys are coming in from other seasons, getting to know each other, learning a whole new style of play. We've got some different rules here in the CEBL from what the G League or overseas might have. But that's an athlete right there with Jameer Chaplin.
Nice little mid-air adjustment, but he couldn't get the shot to fall. Now a no-look pass from Jones, but maybe got a little too fancy on that fast break, and it'll be a turnover on the play.
You know, classic early season play right there. A guy he knows pretty well, though. John Knight and Tevian both played at Southern Utah together, and so maybe just got a little wires crossed.
Gordon going up top and through the contact. Nice work at the cup by Dajuan Gordon. Bandits wasting no time when there's a big slot for Trey Townsend, the former Arizona Wildcat, saying, no, sir. Cal Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. House trying to work his way through the trees, and we've got another foul. And this one's going to go on Townsend.
I've been impressed by the Mamba's physical defense so far. They're really rising to the challenge here, trying to really exert themselves on the defensive end. But you know, it's trying to find that balance between what the officials will allow and what you can sort of get away with.
DeAndre Bernard back in for Saskatoon. And speaking of debuts, this has got to be an exciting one for the hometown kid, Mohamed Mahadi, taking his first strides on the hardwood as a professional. The Saskatchewan Husky did play a little JUCO in Wyoming before coming back home. Wonder what's going through his head right now, Eric.
Probably a lot. But Mo's a great kid. He's worked really hard to get to this spot. You know, a former provincial team athlete that's worked his way through the Saskatchewan system as well and made his way back home to the University of Saskatchewan.
And now got to play with his brother, Faisal, last season. And good player both ends of the floor, but defensively especially, like really a tough, tenacious defender with active hands.
You know, I've talked to the coaches during training camp. They've been wildly impressed with him. You never know with the young guy coming in if they're going to be overwhelmed by the moment, but he's really been able to set the table, especially at the point guard spot. You need a guy who's going to have control of the game, be able to set everybody up, and also know where they sort of fit within the system, and sounds like Mo's found his way.
And now we got two Huskies on the floor as Easton Tim is into the game, wearing number 55 in Aurora, purple and green, blue. I got to figure out a quicker way to describe the color scheme there, Eric. But Easton Tim, of course, was with the team last year. Takes the pass, and the reverse won't go. Mahadi comes up short, battling underneath Fuller. No. And we got a tie-up on the play, but talk about determination underneath the basket. A couple of fresh faces showing no fear getting in the paint there for the Mamba. It will go to Vancouver, though. They, I believe, did call a foul on it.
Great possession for the Mamba. U Sports players making stuff happen here, getting in the lane, little dump off, and fighting for the ball.
Dwayne Notice in the long-time Bandit. Gives it off to Kopp, comes up short. And the rebound to Jalen Williams. We've got some more contacts.
In the bonus here, so let's see if Easton Tim can break the ice.
Yeah, Tim got into the one game last year at the end of the season for the Rattlers. But so not quite making his debut here, but maybe has a little more comfortability coming back for his second year at the CEBL club. A guy who was just an absolute beast again this year in Canada West play. Averaged a double-double, led the nation in rebounding with 16 points on an average as well. So terrific player who's still got a couple years of eligibility left in U Sports as he makes the second one. And Tavian Dunmartin will check back in for Saskatoon.
I like this lineup for the Mamba here. They got 2 playmakers on the court, couple dynamic wings. Let's see if they can make something happen on the offensive end to finish this quarter.
Parolin, hand off. Tevian Jones gets a little room, launches, but can't hit the 3. But there's Parolin on the offensive glass. And with the size that the Bandits can put on the floor, that's something the Mamba are going to have to be mindful of. It's a 15-point Vancouver lead here, minute and a half to go. Martin lost the handle. Mulder right down Main Street and a nice little finger roll finish. It's a 17-point Vancouver lead. Mahadi. 3 from Williams, no good. Tim trying to get his hands on that rebound and does. And great patience as he lays it in.
That's what he does. He gets on the glass. He's got great hands as a former baseball player, and that's where he can make a difference.
Well off the mark on that shot by Parolin. Back comes Dunn-Martin. Mamba would love to trim this gap before the end of the frame. The 3 won't go for Chaplin. And Jones, a little behind the back, but lost the handle. Here's Mahadi. And Mo Mahadi scores his first points, or his first field goal as a member of the Mamba.
He's looking comfortable out here as a first-year guy. You know, he's only 20 years old, but he's still making a difference.
Parolin matched up on Tim. Now the switch. Here's Mulder. Inside Parolin, there's Mahadi. Talk about the defense. There's a strip. And now Chaplin slashing through, lays it off. 3-pointer done. Martin knocks it down right at the buzzer. And the Mamba with a little momentum to close out quarter number 1. It's 32-21 Vancouver. After 10 minutes of play, we are just getting warmed up here in Saskatoon. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Back inside the snake pit through 1 quarter of play, and now it's time to send it over to Katrin Hodson, who is standing by with one of the people who's instrumental to this rebrand here in Saskatoon.
We're here with Saskatoon Mamba coach here, Jason Ribeiro. Okay, Jason, welcome to Saskatoon. Tell us a little bit about your vision for this team and this new franchise.
Yeah, look, I think this is a proof point of what we're trying to do. It's really about the youth. This is the franchise's first ever school day game. This is the most amount of people in the building since the very first CEBL game in 2019. So really heartened about getting involved in the community, really heartened about getting involved on the basketball side and putting a product on the floor that people can be proud of.
All right, community's important to you. Why is that?
Yeah, look, I think you take care of the community, they take care of your business. And I think that's the fundamental thing that we want to bring to bear. We're going to earn every bit of support every step of the way. And you hear the energy right now. I think we're seeing the fruits of that labor.
All right, well, thanks so much, Jason. Hope it's a great season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all your support.
Thank you so much, Katrin and Jason. Yes, it all came together pretty quickly as the new ownership getting in place here in February, and now we've got a whole new look and a new team name and same exciting CEBL basketball. Mamba looking to get down to single digits here to start the second quarter. Mo Mahadi a little too strong on the take, but an offensive rebound. Outside, a little show and go for Gordon. Runs into some resistance inside. Tim will kick it back out, 4 to shoot. Long 3 off the mark for Dejuan Gordon. Jalen Williams leading the Mamba with 6 points in the first quarter. Michael Mulder with 10 to pace the Bandits, who are leading at 32-21. If you're just joining us, welcome. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans, Katrin Hodson with you here for game 1 of 24 for both of these teams, as we've got a rejection underneath. And Gordon running the floor, but Mulder gets up high to swat it out of bounds. I was speaking with Michael Mulder yesterday, and he said, yeah, I might be the oldest guy on the team, but I told the guys I can still jump higher than you. And well, he showed his hops on that play.
Well, he's an NBA-level talent. He spent time with the Golden State Warriors, with the Orlando Magic, and a little bit of time with the Miami Heat as well. He could fill it up. A little time off, probably rested those old bones, so he's back at it.
Yeah, so he does feel pretty fresh. He got in early, about a month before the season, to start working out with the Bandits, as he was said, just waiting for that next right opportunity. Takes a lot of pride being a Canadian in the CEBL for the first time for him here, as Jones knocks down the 3 to extend the Bandits' lead to 14. A lot of contact there. And they're going to call the foul on Williams, offensive foul on Jalen Williams.
A couple good possessions here to start the quarter for the Mamba. They're getting the ball moving. Just got to make sure we're creating some advantages here, drawing that second defender so we can really get that ball moving.
Quickly, a gap opening up there for House, and he draws the contact. He'll head to the line. Looked like the C's parted there for a second, and Mamba were in chase mode. So free throws here for Jalen House, a New Mexico product from Phoenix, Arizona. Spent this past season with the San Diego Clippers in the G League.
Well, when you look across this Bandits roster, there's just a depth of experience. A guy like Dwayne Notice is going to become their all-time leading, minutes getter at some point this season, if not tonight. And you look across, you got guys who have played, in China, across the G League, in the NBA. That's a tough challenge when you're looking across the board here at the Mamba with a lot of sort of younger, less internationally experienced players.
A lot of traffic inside, and count that basket. So a 3-point play opportunity coming up. Fouls on Notice. And Dejuan Gordon will head to the line.
Gordon's done a great job tonight of just getting in the lane, making stuff happen. The Mamba needs someone who can sort of force their will on this, force that second defender to come, and so far that's been him.
And he completes that 3-point opportunity. And it's still with a healthy cushion here, 39-22. A couple minutes into the second. Samuel hands it off, Kopp for 3. And that's his bread and butter, Miller Kopp, a terrific shooter.
That is what he does. He can shoot the ball, he can stretch the floor, and he's tall and long, creating some problems on the defensive end.
And it's with their largest lead. It's up to 20. Townsend looking to respond, but can't get the 3 to fall. A rebound to Tevian Jones. And you can see this Bandits team, they are pushing the pace every single time, make or miss. Samuel now working on Harding, and he just takes him into the gym and puts it in for 2.
That's a veteran move there. Harding did a great job of forcing him off the block, trying to make it tough, but that's not the only trick in Samuel's bag.
3-pointer for Gordon. 42-27, Vancouver. The pace hasn't slowed whatsoever here in quarter number 2 as House with a little mid-range. The Bandits offense is just firing here in game 1, not facing a ton of resistance so far from the Mamba D. Gordon trying to slash inside, and he is going to be a load for opposing defenses this season. They'll head back to the line for another 3-point try.
Another great aggressive possession by Gordon, but as you mentioned, Ryan, it's all about the defensive end now for the Mamba. They need to be able to control the paint, control the flow, so that they can get out and transition themselves.
Kareem Mane in for Saskatoon. And Jameer Chaplin back in as well.
I think one thing you're going to see with the Mamba this year is a lot of guys playing. If they want to play at pace, guys are going to get tired. They're going to want to try to outrun these other teams. You're going to see some bodies going in and out. So far, that's what we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, they had, I think 9 guys had seen the floor before Kyle Julius made his first sub here this morning. If you're watching from out east this afternoon, hello and thank you for joining us. Coast to coast, glad to be on board with CBC this season. Michael Mulder short on the three-pointer. And a rebound for Mane, pushing it up. Townsend nearly lost the handle, but gets it outside. Corner 3, Harding, then the big man. Well, hello there, sir.
Hey, if we can have a big man who can stretch the floor like that, that's going to be a great addition for the Mamba this year.
And that prompts a timeout called by Kyle Julius as the Mamba have cut the lead down to 11. It's 44-33. We will step aside as the Bandits lead it by 11. You're watching CEBL basketball on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Back inside SaskTel Center, 6:09 remaining in the opening half of what has been an exciting season opener here. Plenty of action for the fans to enjoy. Bandits leading at 44-33, but Eric, the Mamba coming out to start this second quarter and starting to bite back a bit.
Absolutely. We knew the Mamba were going to struggle to try to contain the Bandits here, and the turnovers have been a big issue with that. But, you know, I've been impressed with how the Mamba have played offensively. They're moving the ball. They're getting it inside and out. For early season, they look like they're pretty connected.
Bandits with the ball to start out of the timeout, and a three-point play coming up here for Jalen House.
That's one of the interesting things to watch this season. We refer to those as special situations coming out of timeouts. Coach Julius is pretty great at them, but it's always interesting to know where a coach wants to go. And out of the first couple here, they've really leaned on Jalen House to try to create something in those situations.
And House completes that three-point opportunity, and it's up 47-33. Townsend handling here for Saskatoon. Hand off, Tavian Dunn-Martin looking to give it right back, and there's Townsend finding a little separation inside. And again, right off the make, the Bandits wasting no time. Mulder's three-pointer no good, and how about the strength there from Harding to use one arm, fending off Tyrese Samuel and securing the board with the other.
An absolutely great box out.
That is no small feat to box out Tyrese Samuel, one of the strongest players in this league. Second opportunity, and Dunn-Martin with his second triple of the day. And it's a 9-point game now. Mamba chipping away here.
TDM's been a little quiet offensively to start this game here. Let's see if that can get him going.
He lives behind that three-point arc. Shot clock down to 6. House gets the ISO. No good. And the rebound for Mane. Chaplin for 3, rims out.
That's a great push and transition for the Mamba. They got to get out in space, use those early advantages.
House looking inside. Oh, and the swat there from Townsend. Came out of nowhere from behind to take that away from Mutabatsi. Even Mutabatsi, I don't think he even saw Townsend coming.
That's great recognition by Townsend, recognizing that TDM was in a bit of a tough spot into the paint there, coming from the weak side.
Harding comes up short, thought he was fouled, but won't get the whistle there. House. Samuel slips inside and hammers it down. New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL, and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys today by visiting CEBL.ca. We've got a turnover. House with the steal, running the floor, and with the finish inside, but an awkward fall there. He's looking worse for wear as he landed, looked like on his left hip perhaps, or maybe his hand or wrist area. He looks to be in some pain, but will stay in the game.
Turnovers have really hurt the Mamba so far. It's allowing Bandits to get out in transition. They got to really clean those up to make a comeback here.
Bandits leading at 51-38. 3.5 to play in the first half. And give the Mamba credit, as it looked briefly in that late in the first quarter like Vancouver was just going to start running away, and Saskatoon's hanging around. Townsend cut off. Gets it to Dunn-Martin, 3-2 strong. And Mulder on the glass. House, oh boy. Incredible little crossover there by House.
You can see why he was a G League All-Star, because defender was there and all of a sudden he was not.
I believe the phrase is whoop. Is that a phrase or a term? I don't know. Getting linguistically specific here as Chaplin gets the tough bucket, and he'll head to the line for a chance at 3.
Great movement, great cut. When the Mamba have been able to get in the lane tonight, they've done a great job of moving the ball out of that help. Now, let's just clean up the defensive end.
Mutabatsi whistled for that foul. Jameer Chaplin averaged almost 18 points a game as a Saskatchewan Rattler last year in 10 games before going down to injury. We'll have more on that and his return from that injury as we move forward here this afternoon. But suffice to say, great to see him back out on the floor. He's excited. We're excited. I think the whole league's excited.
Absolutely great to see him back out on the floor. Just an amazing human. And one of the most fundamentally sound players I've ever seen. His jump shot is pure, and he's a sneaky athlete.
And speaking of pure, that was a great take on the 3 by Mulder as Dunn-Martin replies with a 2. It's a 13-point Bandits lead as we tick down to 2 minutes remaining in the half. Jones switches to his right, high off the glass and in over the big man Harding. Bandits doing a good job of staying out front here. Mane fights through the initial contact, gives it off. Dunn-Martin's 3, no. And Chaplin and Harding both went for that rebound and got in each other's way that time. As Jalen Williams checks back in for Saskatoon. Coming up at the half, we will take a look at the top 10 plays from 2025 here in the CEBL. Catron will interview Coach Kyle Julius, and that will be followed with a look at some halftime stats and a review of Eric's key players to watch. Vancouver with a 15-point lead. House, drive, kick, three-pointer is good as Mutabatsi knocks it down.
Great job by the Bandits getting the ball into the lane, seeing the open kick out. No, House has done a great job at controlling tempo. He's such a dangerous scorer, but if he can move the ball for them and get others involved, they are going to be a difficult team to play against this year.
Kareem Mane comes up well short. Don't think there was a fingertip on that, but speaking of which, Williams with a disruption, but Jones sticks with it. And Tevian Jones with an emphatic flush. Pushing the lead to 18. Sorry, Eric.
That's all right. Tev is just a great athlete, and he is long. Some of the longest arms in the league to go along with a 6'7" frame. It's hard to jump with him.
And DeAndre Bernard with 4 fouls here in the opening half. It's been a while, though. He's back on the floor. Hasn't played in a little while. He's been playing, coaching, but excited to get back here in Saskatoon.
Absolutely. I know Dre's been keeping himself ready, but while he was in Regina this past year, helping coach some high school teams and sort of give back to the community. He was a guy not originally from Saskatchewan, but moved here to play for the Rattlers and, just loved his time so much that he never left.
Yeah. Product of Ajax, Ontario, but yeah, he's become a bit of a fixture here in Saskatoon, although he wasn't around last year, but over 50 games played with this franchise, second only to Anthony Tigakili, as we've got a foul here on the Bandits. That's going to go against House. So we're down to 47 seconds left in the half, 15 on the shot clock here. Well, they got an issue here at the table. Kyle Julius wanted either a substitution or a timeout, but was a little slow to request that, so they're not going to grant his. Well, now they are. So John Knight III will take the place of Jalen House.
The Mamba did a great job of closing out the last quarter. We got 47 seconds left here to go into half. Hey, that's what we need to see again. See what we can come up with.
Gordon switching and then a little awkwardly lost his balance, but does draw the contact. Mutabatsi whistled for that.
Sometimes they're not pretty, but we'll take it. Putting them in bonus, going to the line. Great 2-for-1 situation. They got that possession done early and get one more this half.
Dejuan Gordon at the line. Up to 12 points now after that free throw.
Look for the Bandits here to push, try to create a 2-for-1 situation with 40 seconds left. They're probably going to try to get a shot up in the first 9 seconds of the shot clock here to try to really push it, get themselves a second possession to close out the half.
Feels like they've been trying to do that every single possession here today, like it's the old Mike D'Antoni 7 seconds or less situation, it feels like. I'm almost out of breath here.
They have kept us on our toes.
Here's House right back in, so just wanted to protect him from maybe another foul defensively, and he comes back in and continues to fill it up. 21-point advantage now, the largest of the day, as the Bandits have really stretched it out in the last couple minutes. Late quarter situations always so critical. They can really swing a game. Townsend to his right. Underneath for Tim. Easton Tim. Oh, a lovely little dump off around Samuel.
And a great job of using the shot clock to try to prevent them from getting out, but oh my goodness, House goes down and scores once again.
Bandits playing with house money here in the first half. Jalen House, an absolute force in his first action here in the CEBL as he gives the Bandits a 21-point lead, and how about 68 points in the first half for Vancouver. They look to be in mid-season form here already, Eric.
This has been a great first half. Bandits have really pushed the ball and made their presence known here. Mamba go to the halftime, lick their wounds a little bit, figure it out. A lot of first professional games for these guys. They'll come out better in the second half.
We got a sneak peek right there, so let's take it over to Katrin Hodson, who is standing by with Jalen House.
All right, Jalen, that was an explosive first half for you. Your first half with the CEBL, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. Just coming off of playing 2 different seasons, so I'm still in the basketball mode. I haven't really got out of basketball mode, and I'm just feeling good right now.
What do you think's working for your team right now? You're gelling very well.
Just keep playing fast, try to break the defense down. they don't help, I got a layup or a floater, and if they do help, I can just kick it out. And we're just working off that right now.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck in the second half.
Mamba going into the room looking to draw it up. The Catron, thank you so much for that. And yes, the strategy adjustment will be how are we going to slow this guy down in the second half, and the Bandits continuing to hum. We'll step aside. Halftime here in Saskatoon as the Vancouver Bandits lead the Saskatoon Mamba 68-47. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. I was just going to say, of course, a former offensive lineman is going to get excited about tacos. I mean, although I will say the GM's looking pretty trim
these days, absolutely. Nate Pierre-Louis takes to the skies.
Trying to provide a spark. Winnipeg owned the early couple of minutes, but it's been all shooting stars. Donovan Williams, oh, what a hammer dunk, and he goes down hard. Donovan Williams is hurt as he went up and came down.
They've been able to surge against Kyle Mangus, getting it done on the defensive floor.
Look at that, Kyle Mangus.
Kyle Mangus.
Personal, Cheryl. I felt that one over here.
That's just not mango, that's mango juice right there.
Here they come again, Asale. Gilliard. Back over to Ruggs. Ruggsy, look out! Oh! Hammer at home! Showtime! Ruggsy time! And it's
Greg Brown, no good. Pickett climbs the ladder but can't grab the ball. Muinkai. Oh, he puts Greg Brown on a poster and the shoulder block afterwards.
At Niagara's had at the rim and falling short on both.
Pierre-Louis rises up from the crowd with two hands and the foul. Nate Pierre-Louis.
because they are a team by committee. Everybody chips in. Oh! Did you see that?
Jones got Osaboyan on the switch. Roberts tries the pass, picked off. Here comes Brown.
Are you kidding me?
Holding the surge to 70 with 5:37 left on the fourth quarter clock. Hornsby to the inside. Ambrose Hilton up and over. Ambrose Hilton.
That's a big one. That's a big one. It halts the.
Staying close to Gilliard. 2 now on Gilliard. He'll distribute. They've got 10 seconds still to get a shot away. Greg Brown dribbling to his left and with his right puts it away with authority.
Yeah, Greg Brown gets 2 feet in the paint. I don't care which feet they are. It's a dunk.
Right up to that rim for Greg Brown once.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Oh, now that's the greatest lunch you could possibly have, getting the popcorn in here at halftime in Saskatoon. The debut of the Saskatoon Mamba, but they're trailing the Vancouver Bandits 68-47, a franchise record for the Bandits for points and a half, surpassing the old mark of 65 set back in 2023 as we take a look at some of the highlights, and there are plenty of them from that opening half, no doubt, when we've got 115 points on the board. Eric, so as we take a look at this pack here, a lot of players making their debuts, making an impact here in the first half.
Absolutely. You know, in the first game of the season, you typically expect the offense to be struggling as guys get to know each other better. Not tonight on both ends of the floor. The Mamba and the Bandits have been putting the ball in the baskets. Really, the defense has got to catch up to where the offense is. I've been really impressed with how the Mamba have been able to move the ball, get it. But at the end of the day, they got to figure out a way to stop Jalen House. He's been an absolute force here in the first half. 24 points, shooting greater than 50% from the field. He's done it inside. He's done it from the outside. And then, frankly, when the Mamba brought second defender, he's done a great job of finding the open guys. And the Bandits are shooting really well from the field here when they've been able to move the ball. And probably at the end of the day, the biggest factor here for the Mamba is those turnovers. They've been turning the ball over. It's allowed the Bandits to get out in transition, and it's stopped the Mamba from being able to get out in transition. To be able to sort of turn this around, they really need to tighten up with the ball.
We saw Dejuan Gordon there leading the offense for the Mamba as well with 13 first half points. As we take a look at some of the stats here from this opening half of play. We'll get to that in a moment here, as a matter of fact. They're bringing the lights down, but how about the school kids getting to watch a pretty exciting game here in Saskatoon?
You know, the atmosphere's been great today. You can tell the kids are excited to be here. They've been enjoying their time. They're enjoying their popcorn, and they're going to be treated to an amazing second half.
Man, oh man, yeah, it's been an electrifying and a high-flying first half of action here. But you're right, Eric. Like, sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get in a season opener, but Kyle Julius seems to always have his teams ready to play. I mean, I think Isaiah Fox has got these Mamba rolling as well, as we now get a chance to look at those first half numbers. And you mentioned the field goal percentage. Bandits getting a lot of high percentage looks in that opening half.
Yeah, that field goal percentage is going to stand out like a sore thumb in that locker room with the Mamba. But look at that three-point percentage as well. You can tell they're moving the ball really well. They're doing it. And no slouch from the Mamba over there. 42%, 38% from three shows they're really moving the ball. The one stat that's not on there is going to be the turnovers. That's really sort of making the difference in this game. If we can tighten that up and the Mamba can take care of the ball here in the second half, they got a chance to really take it to the Bandits.
Yeah, so just taking a look at those turnover numbers real quickly here. And yes, the Mamba with 9 to the Bandits 4 in that first half. We will take another break here and come back on the other side as we continue halftime here in Saskatoon. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. And it's your host, Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win.
Canadian Goose.
Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Back inside the snake pit as we approach second half action here between the Mamba and the Vancouver Bandits. And now we're going to throw it over to Katrin Hansen, who is standing by with Bandits head coach and general manager Kyle Julius.
That's right. Okay, Coach, that was an explosive first half. You actually broke a franchise record with that last basket from Jalen House for most points scored in a half. How are you feeling?
I thought defensively we got lots to work on. I thought we were, kind of disorganized at times. Offensively, that's the pace we want to play with and the way we want to play. We've been doing that for a couple summers, so it's good to see that we can kind of pick up where we left off with a whole new group this year. So.
All right, and you do have a couple returning players, but still a pretty fresh squad. What in training camp do you think prepared you for this day and that half?
Oh, we just worked hard, and we just kind of instilled our values, and we got really good kids, and yeah, I mean it's a good first half, but nowhere near being over. We got 3 more quarters still. So.
All right, well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Katrin and Coach Julius. In his 5th season now as the head coach, but 7th season with this Bandits franchise overall. So he's got a lot of experience to share with all these new players that are coming on board. They've kind of got a pretty well-oiled machine out there on the West Coast, Eric.
Yeah, he's done a great job of sort of setting the culture, setting the tone of what the Bandits are and who they're going to be every single season. They're always ready to play. They're always going to be physical. And they're going to clean up the defensive end as the season progresses.
All right, let's take a look back. You picked a couple of players to watch at the start of this one. Let's revisit those players now and see how they fared in the first half.
Pretty good first half from both of these players here. Tyrese Samuel, despite his stats maybe not being what it is, has had a huge impact on this game. Forcing the Mamba to collapse defensively, kicking the ball out, forcing really the Mamba to put a bunch of effort in this. And you're seeing that in the 3-point percentage where the Bandits are getting a bunch of open shots. And Tavian Dunn-Martin maybe had a slower start to the game, but sort of found his rhythm, made some great passes, kickouts, trusted his teammates, and the scoring is going to come for him as well.
It is always a work in progress, throughout the year, but especially here in the first few games of the season. I was, joking with some folks yesterday that in this league, every year is essentially a rebuild for every team, but not in that traditional sense that we associate with, championship windows opening or closing. It's just, that's the nature of the league. You got to assemble a lot of new faces and figure out how they're going to all mesh well together. And that's one of the fun bits, I guess, of coaching. And you can relate to that, right?
Absolutely. That's the best part, is sort of figuring out who you are, who your players are, and how you can put them together. It's a bit of a puzzle. Every single piece you got to fit together, and sometimes you got to change your plan. But one thing Julius and the Bandits have done is be consistent every single year. They look for guys who fit their culture, and that's really allowed them to be consistent and be near to the top of the league every single season.
So what's the biggest adjustment that, put back your coaching hat back on here? What's the biggest adjustment? I know you talk about protecting the basketball. Schematically, anything that you would highlight from that first half from the Mamba?
I've been really impressed by Gordon's ability to attack. He's really gotten in the lane, kicked it out, Got to see if the Mamba can continue to do that. And we got to really focus on the difference. It's not always about how many turnovers you have, but it's the type of turnovers you have. We refer to them as live ball or dead ball turnovers. Dead ball turnovers let you get back on defense, set your defense, and sort of get ready to play. Those live ball turnovers usually lead to transition, and the Bandits tonight have been absolutely deadly out in transition.
Third quarter set to get underway here. It'll be Bandits basketball to begin, and we will be keeping our eyes on Jalen House. Not only is he approaching if he's on pace to smash the Bandits franchise scoring record for a single game. If he continues on his current pace, he could also set a new CEBL record, but still plenty of hoops to go. It is House to start the third quarter now. Tevian Jones drives, hands it off. There's Samuel with a little dribble and puts it in.
Great little misdirection coming out of the halftime. Thinking it's coming over for Mulder. Creates an open lane for Tevian and he attacks the rim.
So the largest lead of the day here for Vancouver to start the third quarter. It's a 23-point advantage, 70-47. As Williams can't knock down the three, Jones secures the board, gives it off to Mulder. His three won't go, batted out by Kopp, but that will go out of bounds, and the Rattlers will take possession. Mulder had a hot start in the first quarter, quieted down a little bit in that second, but that's because Jalen House was doing a lot of scoring for Vancouver, but a solid 13 points and 6 rebounds in that opening half for the longtime pro Michael Mulder. Miscommunication on that play there for the Mamba. Jones trying to make him pay. Hands it outside for House. Contested three, and he was looking for the foul. Whistle was a little late, but he does get the call as Harding is called for his second of the day.
That's that live ball turnovers that we're talking about. Getting out in transition, creating mismatches. Harding gets caught on House. That's a tough look for the Mamba.
Well, Jalen well on his way to becoming a household name here in the CEBL. I'm sorry.
I love it, Ryan.
But yes, that's one of the fun things about this league as well, is seeing who emerges as the newest stars of the league. Every season there are brand new names and fans get to know them. And Jalen House is no doubt endearing himself to the Bandits fan base in rapid fashion here with his performance today as he hits both.
And we talk about this is a developmental league. As much as guys come in one season, they're brand new players next year with their experience and how much their skill sets have grown. So every single year is even a fresh start for the guys we do know.
Dunn Martin passes out of the double, but the three won't go, and there's Tyrese Samuel. Had a double-double in all 3 games against the then Rattlers last year. Sorry to bring it up, Coach.
That's all right.
Karim Mane. After that empty possession for Vancouver, Mane, soft touch. And the Mamba, their NBA experienced player, gets on the board. Samuel and Mane, plenty of contact there. That'll send Tyrese Samuel to the line.
Yeah, that's 2 Quebec guys right there. Have known each other for a long time, so no ill will, just a good hard foul by Mane.
A big smile there from Tyrese Samuel, who's, I know the players, their pregame routine's a little off kilter with this 10:30 a.m. tip-off, but the bonus for Tyrese Samuel, big Montreal Canadiens fan, he'll get to watch the game tonight. Game 5 of that playoff series. We were chatting, we're like-minded, we'll say, in that sense. So we were talking about that yesterday, but yeah, he said, we could at least watch the game tonight. So. And Samuel is good on both free throws. It's a 75-49 Bandits lead. Vancouver looking for its 7th consecutive win over this Mamba franchise. Dunn Martin with a swing outside. Gordon's three, no. And he's cooled off since a hot start. Jones gives it off to House. And now Samuel working on the block. And a great piece of footwork to get underneath Marcus Harding for 2.
Samuel's got the full repertoire of moves. You know, he can play on the outside. He really can pass the ball. He can get down on the block. He can take big guys outside. It's a tough cover, especially for a guy like Harding in his first professional game.
Gordon's three, no good. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire. And substitutions here for Saskatoon. Trey Townsend, Mo Mahadi checking back in, and a pretty solid little debut for Mahadi in that first half. You talked about it. You never know when guys get out there for their first go, and especially young guys that are still active youth sports players. It's a whole new environment at this level, and to not shy away from it is a pretty impressive thing to see.
Yeah, especially like training camp is one thing. You get comfortable with your guys. Even they're practicing at the University of Saskatchewan gym, where he would obviously have some familiarity too. But then the lights turn on here, and you know what? He hasn't backed down at all.
Harding for Gordon at the death of the shot clock, had to force that one up. Mamba struggling. It looks like the Bandits have tightened things up defensively here to start this second half. House now with the mismatch on Harding. Gets a step on him, can't put it in, but the putback will go on the tap for Samuel.
An absolute crafty move there by House to get into the lane. And those mismatches cause more problems than just for the guy trying to score the ball. You see Harding gets put on House, somebody else has to pick up Samuel, which becomes a really tough box out, and he can get that offensive board.
Steps there as Townsend got a little out over his skis and couldn't plant that foot. And it'll be a turnover here committed by Trey Townsend on the travel.
I'm excited to see what Townsend can do this year. He's a great athlete. He's a big guy. He's strong. He's just getting his legs under him. First game of the year. But he'll be a guy to watch for sure.
He was in Sweden last fall, but then returned stateside for some G League action where he finished up the season with the Salt Lake City Stars under Isaiah Fox. So it's almost a 2-for-1 special there for the Mamba to get a head coach and an up-and-coming prospect. And just a real personable guy, too. Got a chance to meet him yesterday for the first time, and real charismatic and a friendly fella. So I think he'll be a nice piece in the locker room for that team as well.
You know, Canada and the Mamba particularly have a ton of connections to that Salt Lake organization. Obviously, Elijah Harkless came through and has been there. Coach Fox, and now Townsend. And then also within the Utah Jazz organization is Scott Morrison, a Canadian coach who spent a good amount of time in youth sports with Lakehead University.
Samuel unloading a big one-handed cram with no real resistance. And it's a 32-point lead all of a sudden for Vancouver, as the Mamba really struggling to get any scoring here in the third quarter. That one won't go. Another opportunity, and finally Williams on about the fourth try will tap it in.
We love to see that activity. They're still playing hard. They're attacking the glass, getting rebounds. Let's see if they can push in transition here.
Chaplin, and he took the contact. Nearly was able to get the bucket, but Jones will be whistled for the foul, and Jameer Chaplin will go to the line for a couple free throws. Dominic Parolin back in for Vancouver, as Samuel will take a breather. Friendly bounce there for Chaplin. You can't win or lose a championship or make or miss the playoffs in game one, so it's all about Bill's building blocks, right, Eric? I mean, the scoreboard is obviously important. The Mamba want to win this game, but they also want to put the pieces in place for a successful season.
Yeah, it's a long season. And there's no rest here for the Mamba. They get on the road this afternoon and start making their way to Winnipeg for a 3-game road trip. So, you know, every game is a learning opportunity, and as we know in the CEBL, it keeps moving forwards, and it's all about growth. It's not who you are now, it's who you are on championship weekend in the playoffs.
Williams made it work there, as it was a little loosey-goosey getting it up the floor, but the block by Townsend spurring that fast break bucket for the Mamba. House now pulls it back outside, 10 on the shot clock, working on Fuller. Hits it underneath for Parolin, who banks it home. Be part of the energy that takes over the Bridge City all summer long. Get your tickets to experience pro basketball in Saskatoon at themamba.ca/tickets or scan the QR code. Got a whistle on the play here and a foul on the Bandits. That's on Parolin, his second. Substitutions, and in fact, we're going to take a timeout here with 4:18 to play in the third. The Bandits stretching out that lead, 83-55. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC, GEM, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just feel your body, you feel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Back inside the Snake Pit as we're through just over half of the third quarter, and we've been talking about Jameer Chaplin returning to action here and returning to Saskatoon. It has been a long road back from a pretty scary injury, and with more on that, let's send it over to Katrin Hodson.
Yes, Jameer did not have the season he hoped for last year with what turned out to be, like Ryan said, a very serious injury. And you just never know with injuries if and how you're going to come back. But he made a 100% full recovery, which is really just incredible. I spoke to him yesterday, and he said he feels amazing, that his faith and his talent and God are what got him through the recovery process, and that he's just very excited to be back here in Saskatoon. And we, of course, are all very happy to see him healthy and back on the court.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Katrin. As the ball knocked out of bounds, that'll be a turnover. But more on that, Eric, like you were obviously there for it. It was one of those situations that looked innocuous at the time, but there was a fear, had he not gotten treatment when he did, that he might have lost his leg or maybe not even been able to play basketball again. It was a pretty scary situation.
Yeah, an absolute sort of freak accident that it seems like just a normal Charlie horse that turns into some massive swelling in his leg, known as compartment syndrome. And one of those injuries that, if it's not treated appropriately, can absolutely lead to amputation or an absolute change in his career. So I'm so happy to see him back on the court. And I give full credit to our medical staff last year. They did a great job in the middle of the night recognizing what it was and getting him the appropriate care. Definitely saved his career and even maybe saved his leg.
Yeah, it was funny watch because it was a road game in Brampton as Parolin battles hard for an extra opportunity. But it was a road game in Brampton, and he went out, and then you could see him watching the broadcast. He's riding the bike, just trying to loosen it up, and then suddenly you hear this could be really serious. Of course, it was a season ender. 3 surgeries to get back, and 6 to 8 month recovery time. And but now, speaking with Mamba assistant coach Rob Lovelace, who of course was on the staff last year as well, says he looks better than ever coming back after recovering from that injury.
I think sometimes it puts a little perspective into it. When we watch them play throughout training camp and yesterday, you can just see the joy in his face. He's just happy to be able to play basketball again. And as much as it's a job, we can find a lot of joy in it.
Mo Mahadi with a couple there for the Mamba. Speaking of someone who is probably having a time of his life out here today. As we've got a foul called on Jamal Fuller on the push.
You love to see the compete the Mamba have had tonight. Looking at the score, it doesn't matter. Every single possession, they're locked in, they're competing, they're ready to go. They're arguing foul calls. They want to win.
House had a quiet start to this half, but now playing a little more distributor as the Mamba have kind of keyed on him and gets the assist on the Parolin bucket.
Pearland has a lot of reminders to me of a previous Bandit in Karnick, James Karnick. Also a guy who also went to Lehigh, fancy enough, but big physical guy. Did a great job there of getting down low on the mismatch and just making it simple at the basket.
Fuller draws the contact, and he will get a chance at the line. That one is on Pearland. Apologies to the Pearland family. I think I said his name wrong there last time. So Fuller to the line. It's a 30-point Bandits lead here, 2:43 to go in this third quarter. So an important stretch here late in the quarter for Saskatoon to give themselves maybe a little hope going into the fourth. As it looks like we're about to see another pro debut here, this time on the Bandits side. Shaden Smid getting set to check in.
That's another U-Sport player that we're looking to bring in here, a player from University of Victoria, second team Canada West All-Star last year, a great player with a bright future ahead. You look at a lot of these U-Sport guys, and they are absolutely capable of playing at the Division I level, but they're choosing to stay home because they've got some great opportunities here. You know, he was born just up the road in Duncan, BC, where my parents are now.
There you go. Shout out Duncan. Beautiful spot. I lived in Victoria for a couple of years, so I'm familiar as House opens the door for more points right there. He's up to 28 now. And, you know, I asked Tyree Samuel about Shaden Smid, or I asked him about who we might get to know this season, which players on this Vancouver team are going to emerge, and Shaden Smid was the first name out of his mouth. He had a lot of good things to say about the young fella from UVic.
He's a dynamic guy. He's long, he can play inside, play outside. You know, some of his specialties being able to be on the perimeter as one of those stretch guys. For him, being alongside a guy like Miller Kopp here is going to be a great learning experience as he wants to transition to that next level.
Kopp silky smooth on that three. Rattlers, wow, there it is. There's the first loony in the jar, and it's me. Mamba looking to push the tempo, but the ball knocked out of bounds. Almost got through three quarters.
It won't be the
Old
last.
habits die hard, let me say. Been working on that for the last 3 months.
I'm just glad you did it, not me.
Yeah, of course. Saskatoon Mamba, but yes, a full rebrand. Team name and geographical reference as well. Saskatoon now instead of Saskatchewan. Jamal Fuller launches, and that is a smooth stroke for Jamal Fuller. 90 seconds to go in the third, and House just wreaking havoc. Beautiful find as Smid gets his first pro points. And now Smid trying to get the steal, but he commits the foul.
Great job by him. Getting his first bucket, getting back on defense, maybe a little excited there, but hey, stop the transition break by the Mamba.
Bandits fans, bring the energy every night, and you can be a part of it this season. Tickets are available by scanning the QR code or at thebandits.ca/tickets. Tavian Dunn-Martin, Easton Tim, opposite ends of the size spectrum on this Mamba team, both back into the game here. And Trey Townsend at the line for Saskatoon. Rebounded by Smid, and House with those fluorescent mismatched kicks. Gives it off to Kopp. House for three, no, and Tim on the glass. Dunn-Martin looking to push. He's got, Townsend was just hopping and jumping looking for that ball, but Dunn-Martin a little late on the recognition, and now Tim racing back to deflect that pass out of bounds.
Great hustle by Tim to get back there. Force the ball to get out of bounds. Set your defense here. Make the next play.
John Knight III back in, giving House just a quick rest here in the final minute of the quarter. He'll get the media timeout as well, just to refresh for the fourth, as he has played the majority of this one. Scoring has slowed here in the second half, but the Bandits as a team have certainly continued this high pace as they're threatening the century mark here in the third quarter. Mulder, and that is a three as the Bandits are now up to 98, and they lead it by 34. We're going to keep our eye on the league scoring record as well, by the way. In case you're curious, it's 131 points.
I think one of the most amazing things about shooters at this level is you know they're shooters and they still find ways to get open. A guy like Mulder, nobody's surprised that he's shooting the ball, but so many times tonight he's been able to just have some little subtle movements and all of a sudden he's open for three.
Extra pass to Smith and he sticks with it. Good job by John Knight III there to find Smith, who has the Bandits up to 100 here in quarter number 3. Very impressive showing by Vancouver in this season opener. At the buzzer, it felt like that might fall just based on the way things are going, but either way you slice it, it's been all Bandits all day long. They lead this one 100-64 after 30 minutes of play. We will step out. Fourth quarter still to come. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
Gotta love it, Canadian goods.
Two hands! Oh, what a block from behind.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama,
And anything can happen.
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
Time for the fourth quarter here inside the Snake Pit as we take a look at our Cal Tire cruise of the game. Tavian Dunn-Martin, a little stop and go. Nice bit of work in the paints as he's got 9 points here in his Mamba debut on 4 of 9 shooting. 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. I thought he had 2 threes, but I guess one of those he must have had a toe on the line in that first half. But again, players figuring it out, feeling their way out, getting into a rhythm, getting some chemistry. It's going to continue to progress here. Here's Townsend, and he is going to be a load inside. That is my not-so-bold prediction here for this season as he puts it home.
Great little action coming out of the quarter break. Tonight, both coaches have done a great job of having a little bit of misdirection where you think you know what's happening, and then they're actually going to a secondary action that's led to getting some buckets.
Tough work inside by Williams to secure that rebound. Townsend hands it off. Dunn-Martin for 3. No. Battle for the loose ball, and great job by Kopp as he keeps it alive. I think that would have been a Mamba ball. Kopp now, little side step, comes up short on the triple, and TDM with the board. Dumps it out to the corner, and Townsend puts it home.
Great job by TDM. That's what we need him to do. Drew 4 defenders into the paint, found the open guy. That's how the Mamba are going to be successful, if they can draw that second defender and then share the basketball.
Blocked from behind by Williams. Good recovery by the defense. And now Jalen Williams, little Euro in the lane, and he lays it home. And a good start to the fourth has got Kyle Julius up off the bench for a quick timeout for Vancouver.
Jalen Williams is the guy that the Mamba are going to have to lean on this year. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can post up. And without having a guy that's really like a Jalen House who's going to kind of command the ball so much, they're going to do it by committee. And he's a guy who can really create those mismatches, create those advantages, and allow cutters to sort of work off of him. I'm excited to see where he can kind of go with this. He had a couple threes early in the game. He started to make his presence known on the glass. His energy has not dipped. None of the Mamba's energy has dipped, even despite the score here. So looking for them to get some growth in this fourth quarter, see what we can build on.
Jalen Williams, by the way, in case you're wondering, officially it is Jay Will. Of course, anyone who follows the NBA knows the Oklahoma City Thunder have two Jalen's Williams. One is Jay Will, the other's J Dub. So I asked Tavian Dunmartin if they had maybe another nickname for the Mamba, Jalen Williams, but no, he is also a J Will. So there you go, the news you need to know. So it's a 29-point lead as the Mamba have come out quick to start this third quarter on a 7-0 run to begin the frame.
Hey, I've been here as a coach. It's not a fun place to be. It's not what you're trying to do, but Coach Fox has done a great job of getting his guys to band together, continue to play hard. Let's see what they do out of this timeout. I expect that they're going to try to pick up the pace here, be aggressive on any of these ball screens involving Jalen House.
House with 28 points now as he bounces it inside for Kopp. And another assist as Jalen House is now an assist shy of a triple-double. 28 points, 9 dimes.
On the flip side, this is a perfect opportunity for the Bandits to see what they have. Use a guy like Kopp out of a timeout like that. Was a bit of a misdirection. See what they can do. Give them some more options as they grow throughout this season.
And Marcus Harding, we're getting our first look at him here today, and he is showing some real soft hands in and outside.
He's been impressive. He's been physical. He's been accepting the challenge of guarding Tyrese Samuel. And he's a return the favor, as you said, both inside and out.
Mane going up for two, and the Mamba continuing on this quick start. It's a 10-2 run to begin the period. Make that an 11-2 run for Saskatoon as Mulder can't hit the three, and there's Townsend skying in for the rebound. Mane on the run out, finds Harding running the floor.
First big down the floor. If you can get some easy buckets like that from your bigs, just being willing to run, and your guards having their head up, that's only going to be positive things for the Mamba moving forward.
The Indiana State Sycamore, Marcus Harding. We got a pretty good baseball player here in Saskatoon who goes to Indiana State by the name of Carter Beck out of Carnduff, Saskatchewan. I wonder if they have any familiarity with each other. We'll have to ask Marcus when we get a chance.
Trey Townsend's been an absolute beast on the glass here in the second half. He's really doing a great job of getting these defensive rebounds, skying above the rim. That's allowing the Mamba to get out in transition.
Let's head it over to Katrin Hodson, who's got a little bit more on the Bandits head coach Kyle Julius.
Yes, I had the chance yesterday to chat with head coach Kyle Julius about the approach he's developed over his tenure with the Bandits. He's led the team through multiple playoff runs. He says it's the organization's player-first approach that keeps them succeeding, really keeping that focus on player development and putting players in the spots that maximize their individual skills and talents to help them become the best players they can be during their time with the CEBL. Bandits newcomer Tavian Jones echoed that sentiment, saying that was actually one of the reasons he was drawn to Vancouver.
Yeah, it is quite the culture they have built there in Bandit Land. We talk about player turnover, but there's a lot of coaching turnover as well, and the consistency, both not just with Kyle, but the full front office in Vancouver on their philosophy, and it has equated to a lot of victories, but they're still looking for that first title. Tyrese Samuel, Dwayne noticed the guys back from last year. They are hungry to get to the chip again this year after coming agonizingly close a season ago. After setting a CEBL wins record with 19, as Kopp hoists up a three, no good. Mamba have got it down to 24, still a pretty big deficit, but they are chipping away here. Now we've got a foul under the basket, so 2 minutes basically until we get to that target score time threshold. And you know, if Saskatoon can get it to 14, 15, 16, it just starts to plant those seeds of doubt when you get into target score time, Eric.
Absolutely. When we were talking strategy as coaches, we talked about these as being the two most important minutes of the game. trying to set yourself up, make sure you're ready to go into target time. How are you going to do your subs so that guys are fresh for those final possessions? But also, how can you gain that momentum going into target time?
Tough play there, though. Unforced error by Manes. He just lost the handle, and it turns into two the other way. Tevye and Jones making the Mamba pay for that mistake. Quickly back for Harding, who's fouled on the 3. Now, a question of where his feet were. Will it be 2 or 3? Or he stepped out of bounds, excuse me. So no foul on the play. It is a turnover. And we've got a timeout on the floor that is called by Isaiah Fox, and that will give us maybe a little chance to talk a bit more about the new Mamba bench boss, who, as we chatted with him yesterday, was just super excited for the opportunity to jump up and come to Saskatoon and really get involved in the community as well. But I really like the energy we've seen from him here coming to Saskatoon.
Yeah, he's very composed in how he handles things. He's very deliberate. And the guys just absolutely love him. You could absolutely tell that. His energy is high in practice. He's willing to develop these guys and put the time in that's necessary. When you see a guy like Trey Townsend, who's on his G League team, want to give up his summer to be able to come play for him in another country, you can tell that he gets real buy-in from his players. And that's the first step. That's how you're going to get growth throughout the season, is getting these guys locked into what you're trying to build and giving them the opportunity to do that.
You've obviously been in his shoes. We've talked about players who are making their debuts here today, but what do you think is going through Coach Fox's mind as he coaches his first game in the CEBL, and maybe even in the lead up to today's game?
Yeah, we talk about this league as being an absolute development opportunity for players, but it's a development opportunity for coaches. I can tell you, as a kid, the thought of being a professional coach here in Canada wasn't even on my radar, but it gave me an opportunity to sort of step outside my comfort zone, get my own experience, and I think this is the exact same for Coach Fox. You look now, this league has gained its notoriety across the world, where you have guys like Coach Fox and a number of other guys coming in from the G League. You see guys go overseas after this and get coaching opportunities because teams around the world are looking at these teams and wanting the CEBL talent, both on the court as players, but as the bench bosses as well.
And over and back here against the Mamba, we saw the speed of Michael Mulder on that last sequence as he just blazed in through the lane for that bucket. I was joking with him. I said, "Is the layoff, since your last pro action, does that make you maybe the freshest 32-year-old in town?" He said, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to go here."
We'll see how the knees feel tomorrow. That might be the best test.
Well, he just knocked down a triple, and the Bandits lead is just like that back up to 31 as we're down under 5 minutes to go. And of course, that means we're less than a minute away from reaching that target score time threshold as Townsend knocks down the contested mid-range. And you're right, Eric, these Mamba have not let up whatsoever. They are playing with the same level of intensity that they had from the opening tip, despite trailing by a wide margin here. Samuel now working on Harding, and he is just so hard to defend one-on-one.
Well, you could see it in Samuel's eyes. As soon as Townsend's shot went in after playing some tough defense, he was ready to go back at it. And when that ball entered his hands, I don't think he had many other thoughts in his mind other than trying to attack.
There's a strip by House, and here comes Jones with a little flash and dash. So the Bandits will not likely, unless we get a bunch of points before target score time, will not threaten that all-time CEBL scoring record, but still, they have got a mittful as that whistle will take us there on the play out of bounds. It is the Bandits leading it by 33, the Mamba, with a chance to make CEBL history here going into target score time, as the target will be 124. You're watching Canadian Elite Basketball League action live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL+.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
Back inside SaskTel Center as we get prepared for target score time. The next time you can see both of these teams in action is Saturday, May 16th on a doubleheader. Both as the away team, the Vancouver Bandits will travel to Edmonton, where they'll face off against the Stingers at 9 p.m. Eastern. And next on the schedule for the Mamba is a trip to Winnipeg, where they'll encounter the Sea Bears. Tip-off scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, target score time has arrived, and yes, as I somewhat tongue-in-cheek said heading into the break, if the Mamba can somehow come back here, it would be the largest target score time comeback in CEBL history, but that is why we love this format, because the game is never over until that last bucket is made. We saw an 11-point comeback here in this building in target score time last season, so all they have to do is about triple that.
There we go. It's one of the most exciting things about the CEBL, and it's one of the things that makes it so unique, is trying to get your players to understand the challenges and the different strategy that exists in target score time compared to a typical basketball game ending.
And Tyrese Samuel quickly brings the Bandits within 7 of that 124-point target. Gordon lost his footing, but gets the pass outside. Townsend can't hit the 3, and Samuel is there to secure the rebound. Nice thing when you have a cushion like this for Vancouver is you can just run your offense. You don't have to make much in the way of tactical adjustments. Just you could trade possession for possession, really, and go right to the finish line. Gordon, a little scoop.
Great job from Gordon. He's been a little more quiet this second half, but getting back in the lane, forcing his will.
Tevian Jones gets a bit of room, but the 3 goes off back iron. Offensive rebound for Mulder. Back to Jones. Little jab step, then to his left, but Fuller will get him to retreat. And now finds a little daylight. And Tevian Jones with a and 1, but also going to pick up a technical on the bump there after the play. He'll shoot a free throw, and then if I get this right, the Mamba will get a free throw.
You know, Tev's back here, was here last year. He's got some extra pent-up emotion. He's had a great game tonight, looking to finish it off, but let cooler heads prevail.
So we'll shoot the tee first, and then Jones will get his and 1 opportunity. But in the meantime, and it's now 5 points away from the target score as Gordon will shoot the technical free throw. You know, in a lot of nights, 85 points would be a pretty decent number here, but obviously when the Mamba get back to the lab here, they're going to be maybe a little more focused on the defense, would you say, than the offense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both coaches are probably going to go back to the lab and talk a little bit more about your defense. The good news is defense is something that you can make some pretty massive changes in. They obviously only have 2 days till their next game for both of them. They can make some major adjustments, get that cleaned up, because it's all about the next one at this point.
Jones makes the free throw, so Vancouver now 4 points away from the target score, 120-85, a comfortable lead. Here's Jameer Chaplin, and that rims out. And Jones brings it back up the floor. He's got that look in his eye. He wants to close the deal against his former team. Samuel mishandle. And a breakaway opportunity as Gordon now gives a little mean mug back to Jones after that slam. And Kyle Julius is going to call a timeout here.
You like to see guys being competitive, you know, all the way to the final buzzer. Even a little talking after the whistle there. We like to see that guys are willing to compete, even though if Coach Julius doesn't necessarily love it right here.
You know what? Well, we got a second here. Let's give a shout out to the crowd as well. They have kept the energy up all day long here as we're into the afternoon here in Saskatoon. And of course, you expect that kind of exuberance from the school kids, but you never know when the game gets a little lopsided. Maybe they get distracted, but they have been fully engaged here. Swish now, who's got himself a new look, of course, this year too. He's tossing out some goodies to the kids.
Katrin talked about this a little earlier in the broadcast, where there's been a huge push by the Mamba to get into the community so that they can care. And you see it in this first game. It's a great showing by these school kids. They're here, and hopefully we see them at the next game.
As we take a look at some of the handiwork from Tevian Jones here, who is having himself a real solid second half especially, but he is 8 of 10 from the field for 19 points now. Go along with 7 rebounds and 4 assists. So a very complete game from Tevian Jones this afternoon.
Yeah, and I've always loved how Tevian moves. He's such a fluid player with these long steps and these long arms. He takes up so much ground. And as Ryan, I'm sure you can relate to, when he jumps, he just floats.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful to watch. By the way, neither team in any risk of foul trouble here. Just 2 on the Mamba, 1 on the Bandits in this fourth quarter. A turnover up ahead for Gordon, and he's going to get called for the offensive foul on the push-off, much to the chagrin of the hometown fans.
You love to see the competitiveness, but you got to find the boundaries for which to play. And you got transition there. Don't make it personal with Tevian. Just go get a bucket.
Third team foul on the Mamba. Bandits still up by 33. They just need 4 points to finish this one off, as Dejuan Gordon gets an explanation from the crew chief, Chris Bucella. Jalen House, after an explosive first half, playing the role of facilitator more in this second, but now thought he was going up, but couldn't connect with Samuel on the dump off.
Great job by Gordon. Hey, has a tough possession on offense, gets back on defense, takes away the roll.
Open 3 for Townsend, knocks it down. And that draws a reaction from the kids in the crowd. And it's 120, Mamba 90. House outside for Mulder, gets it back. And now a lane opens up, and Jalen House says something to the Mamba bench on his way by after that bucket.
He is absolutely smooth in how he attacks it there. Not even putting a second hand on the ball, just making it look easy.
Planting an early flag here. The Bandits have had the league MVP and the league's top Canadian in each of the last 2 seasons, and it's obviously very early, but with Jalen House putting a debut performance like this out here today, certainly his laying an early claim to perhaps being in that conversation as this season goes on. A lot of basketball to be played, but certainly a sparkling debut for House. As I say that, a little awkward on that opportunity, but still the Bandits can kind of just work it here. They just need 2 to win.
He has definitely put the league on notice today. You can tell coaches are going to be trying to make a game plan for him, which is tough against this Bandits team. They got so many guys who can put the ball in the hoop. But as we get to the end of target time, the last bucket can always become a little bit funny, just as guys want to hit that winner. But hey, you can't fault them for trying.
3-pointer is good for Jamal Fuller. The Mamba haven't folded their tents. Still a long way to go, though. Need to stop every single time now. House gives it off. Jones looking at the hoop, hands it off, and that will do it as Miller Kopp finishes it off for the Bandits. And Vancouver goes wire to wire here in the season opener. An impressive showing by the Vancouver Bandits, 124-95. Eric, a team that certainly doesn't look like it's only been together for a week or so.
Absolutely. They look in mid-season form already. They got a bunch of different guys who can do a lot of different things. They're going to be a challenge this entire season. And for the Mamba, great level of compete tonight. Things to work on for sure, but absolutely some bright spots they can build off.
Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of days, if you've got 95 on the board, you're celebrating a W, but again, defense is going to be the thing. Both teams are going to look to tighten up. It certainly made for an entertaining game here for the fans, and we are looking forward to many more here this season as the Bandits and Mamba shake hands. They will renew acquaintances a little ways down the line, and it certainly set a fun tone for the season, though, Eric. And we are now going to take it to our Booster Juice player of the game, Tyrese Samuel, who is standing by with Katrin Hodson.
All right, Tyrese, you are back with the Bandits. How are you feeling after that first game?
I feel good. It feels good to play against someone different. You know, we've been going at it for a couple of days in training camp, and now the fact that we're able to, actually unleash and do what we're supposed to do against other teams, and it's working. It feels good.
What do you think is working in doing what you're supposed to do on the court?
I think right now it's just playing with pace, rebounding, and playing defense. Sometimes the game could be that simple. You don't really got to run anything. Just as long as we're playing defense and we're running and we're getting offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and pushing in transition, because with a great team like us, we have a lot of good shooters and a lot of fast players. It kind of just works for us.
When you got signed back in February, you said you had some unfinished business, that the team had some unfinished business. What is your focus going into this season?
I just think that, we can't think too much of last year, especially what happened to us in the semifinals. But I just think that, what am I going to say? It's a new year, you can't think about the past. We got to figure out what we got right now. It's not the same team, so, the same thing's not going to happen. So we got to focus on what we got right now, and, hopefully we can keep it pushing forward.
All right, thank you so much, Tyrese. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks so much, Katrin and Tyrese. Samuel with 24 points, 4 rebounds here in the season opener. There's still 4 teams yet to play their first game of the season, Eric, but I think you and I would agree out of the 6 we've seen so far, we'll get to that in a second, but the Bandits certainly look like a well-oiled machine. We'll be back to wrap after this. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CEBL Plus, CBC Sports, and CBC YouTube.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
You gotta love a Canadian goods.
Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Tomorrow, May 15th, we have the season's first doubleheader. The Scarborough Shooting Stars and the Montreal Alliance will play at Verdun Auditorium in Montreal at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And at the same time, the Ottawa Blackjacks will play their second game of the season against the Brampton Honey Badgers on the Honey Badgers home court in the CAA Center. You can catch all the action on CBC Gem, CBC Sports, YouTube, and CEBL Plus as we welcome you back inside the Snake Pit. All those kids filing out towards the buses on a day that saw the Vancouver Bandits plant their flag, maybe make a statement here right out of the gate that they might be the team to beat once again here in the season. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans, and Eric, just your final thoughts on what we watched here today, a dominant victory, and especially a big second half by the Bandits here as they pull away to win it by 29.
Yeah, I think the big thing to take away here is there's 23 more games to go for both teams. Bandits, if they don't want this to be the peak of their season, and the Mamba can continue to grow and build into one of those playoff teams that they desire to be. I just really want to wish good luck to all these teachers for this afternoon with all of these sugared up kids.
That's right. There's going to be popcorn all over those classrooms and gummy bears and all the like as well. But yeah, we've got if this is the table set for the rest of the season, I think we're in for some fun games all season long. Yes, the Mamba came up short, but we saw a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And let's not forget, Devontae Bandu, Jaden Bidiaco still to come. Those are two guys that you expect likely to be starters or first guys off the bench when they come back into the fold, returning from Mexico. But still, some promising signs from a very young Mamba team as well. I'm just curious what you quickly thought about them.
Yeah, they've done a great job. As a coach, we always talk about correctable errors. Are there things that you can correct and improve on? And the Mamba have that. They have guys who can play defense. They're going to improve on that. They're sharing the ball. They're playing together, and they're playing hard. That's the key foundation for a good team. That's why the Bandits have been successful for so many years, and the Mamba can become that.
That will do it for us here in the Snake Pit. These teams will be in action is in 2 days' time. Until then, we bid you good day from Saskatoon. Thanks for watching.
Knock him out the run, knock him out the run, knock him out the run with the pep talk, time for some action.